Let's bring in Mark Stafford from the TAB, friend of the program. How are you, Staffy?
Good, buddy, good.
Tell me something, a sports event that is overhyped.
Some people would argue the America's Cup, I think.
I think some would argue the America's Cup, Rigger. Do you like that one?
Yeah, nice example. Always the voice of region, Staffy, isn't he? Voice of region or reason?
Reason.
Yeah.
Regional reason.
Yeah.
You boys would take a fair swag, though, wouldn't you, on the Origin?
Oh, hell, we do. It's a standalone type of event. You know, it's Wednesday night. There's nothing else on, so they own that night. And yeah, we've run a few events at various pubs and clubs and stuff. You know, TAB go in and run some events, and it's just massive. And I can't get over the tribalism. And I remember we had Michael Luck along as a guest one night, and he just said he couldn't believe the hype in New Zealand around Origin, how everyone takes a side.
But that's why Origin have to deliver, and they have to deliver with the biff, don't they? Because it's no point saying that you're going to have high-quality rugby league because they're trying to appeal to a mass market. And the mass market doesn't know what high-quality or crap rugby league is. They want to see two teams going at it hard. And often the most visual thing that will prove what they're seeing is what they're getting is a big, dirty, great big all-in brawl.
Yeah, I like it.
The other reason I think why people buy into the Origin here, Staffy, is because there's only two teams in it.
Yeah, it's very Australian.
One or t'other.
You know how Australians are Ford or Holden? When my sister married an Australian, his first question was Ford or Holden. I said, I don't care. He goes, you got to care. You know, and that's what Origin is. It's Blues or Reds.
Yeah, that happened to me at the V8s one year. Someone came over to me and said, hey, you're Ford or Holden? I said, to be honest with you, mate, I couldn't give a rat's backside. I don't care. And he just went, there's something wrong with me, Mark, for just playing the part of Switzerland.
Yeah, but that's if you went to like a religious fanatic, isn't it? You sort of got to still pick a religion, don't you? It's bigger evil not being religious than actually having a counter-religion, isn't it? Let's steer away from religion now.
21 after 8. Let's talk here, Staffy, about the $5 million challenge. You can get online, tabchallenge.co.nz. Who's going to win this?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is an expert going to win it, or a throw a dart at the wall blindfolded going to win it? Because you get the full analyst, and I was actually just talking to Devlin outside on the way, and he's barred up about it. He is fired up about it. He says all you got to do is pick 64 games, and he said in reality you've probably only got to pick 20 because 40 of them pick themselves. You just pick Team A, Team B, or a draw. You don't need the scores or anything. Get all 64 right, $5 million.
Well, you've got to get draws as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because there are draws, Mark, in football.
Yeah, there are actually. Do they go to golden point? No. Drop goal over the top, wins it? I guess as an expert is probably less likely to win it than someone who just has a shot at it because there is going to be upsets. Every tournament has upsets.
Yeah, and you quite often say, I mean, look at New Zealand in the last one. You know, they drew with Italy. No, if this competition had been the last time, I would say 95% of even New Zealanders would have picked Italy, but it was a draw.
All right, someone gets this.
Yeah.
Someone wins the $5 million. The chances are highly unlikely, but someone, well, there enough people go in it.
Oh, there'll be
the chances
heaps
go
of
up.
people going.
Yeah, so there is a chance that this will go. Do you quite happily hand over the $5 million, or do you go bugger?
That's a great question, Staffy.
Yeah, it's $5 million. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we go bugger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I sort of think, though, there's the expert and the complete novice. I feel like someone halfway in the middle would be the most likely to get it. Someone who knows a bit about football but isn't completely embroiled in it because they just cannot see something happening.
Yeah.
So, and the great thing is it's free. So you can have one entry, and so experts can have one entry, novices can have one entry. So it's pretty even playing field. It's awesome.
I've signed up. I've registered, Mark. I'm making my picks later this week. tabchallenge.co.nz. Brazil are the favourites at the moment ahead of Argentina. Incidentally, Paul Eiffel, who we spoke to an hour ago, is tipping the Argies to win in the final.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Who have you got?
I've always liked Paraguay. Not Paraguay. What am I talking about? Portugal. But I've got a feeling Spain again, only because we've got another offer at the TAB. If you have a bet on the overall winner and your team doesn't win, we'll refund you if Spain wins. So that's going to trip us up. You follow that?
A European team has never won the World Cup outside of Europe, though.
Really?
Other than South Africa.
Yeah.
They've never won it in America or South America.
Yeah, New South Wales had never won in Dunedin either, but they did that.
New South Wales haven't won Origin.
Nevers mean that it can happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's eventually going to happen.
You're 1 year closer to it happening.
There is never a never.
That's right.
Is there? Spain, though, it's $7. That's pretty good. France, $20. Are they that bad, are they?
Isn't England, 25.
25.
England will be our worst liability well, they are now, right through the tournament.
They won't make it out of the group, though, will they?
I think they might. I did my picks as well this morning, and I think they might sneak out of the group.
So because they're not rated at 25, but a lot of people will bet on them because they like England, you're scared like hell they might go on and win it.
Well, if they went on and win it, that's 5 million plus another million. We'd be up for moon money if England were to go on and win every World Cup. It's like that with the English.
It is though, because you realistically give them fairly long odds. So on the fixed odds, you know it's a good bet, and there will be because they get the sentimental vote. So there'll always be a lot of money,
and we
on
know
England.
them all. We know all the players.
Yeah, so you want to follow them. You put a bit of money on them. You
and for
enjoy the
$10, if they do win, you get $250.
Yeah,
it's $10 to make $250.
There are some cash prizes too, Staffy, if the $5 million does not fall.
Yep, we've got 5 $1,000 giveaways as well. So we're guaranteeing to give away 5,000. So the top 5 players, if no one gets all of them, will get 1,000 each. But it's only 64 games, and as I say, there's only 20 tricky ones, I reckon.
I've always wanted to know over sports betting in general, how much work and research goes into setting the odds.
A lot.
In fixed odds,
A lot. And especially in events. I talked about the America's Cup just before. When the America's Cup was here the first time and we did betting on it for the first time, we knew nothing about yachting. Nothing. I came up to Auckland for a week and talked to yachting experts. I drove up on top of the hills with Peter Lester and learned how to read clouds and water formations and all that sort of thing. So that took a week of intense, all day, every day learning about a sport. Rally of New Zealand's another one. We know nothing about cars and speed and all that sort of thing. So there's a lot of research. Exposed form, like rugby and rugby league, not so hard.
But even then, even if it is, rugby and rugby league, you've still got to factor a lot of things into it. What do? You punch it all into a computer or you fill out sort of, I don't know, spreadsheets of certain instances that have occurred, and then it spits out a probability? Or?
I'll tell you what I do with rugby.
Yeah.
I rate every player out of 10. Every single player out of 10. I pick my first 15 from each team.
Yeah.
I add them all up. I give a score for the reserves, the goal kicker, the coaching staff, morale, and home ground.
Right.
And then that gives you a total.
Yeah.
So the Hurricanes might total 180.
Right.
Against the Force, who total 160.
All right.
That means Hurricanes will win by 20. That's my starting point.
Yeah.
And I see how that feels inside me.
Yeah.
Hurricanes by 20, I think that's a bit much. We'll go 17, and then a price falls out of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really?
So that's how I do that.
It's not that scientific, really, is it?
You've been on all of the major TV networks this week too, Staffy, around the match-fixing scandal in cricket. You seem to be a man in the know. Yes,
well, given that we're the only betting agency in New Zealand, they come to us for expert comment, I suppose. But yeah, we've put a lot of work into integrity in sport in New Zealand. We're working alongside Sport New Zealand, the police, various sporting codes as well. We went to the Sport New Zealand conference and I gave a talk on integrity because it's a looming giant. Well, it is a giant, but it's being addressed. So we're pretty heavy in the integrity of sport. We're pretty serious about it.
The fact our betting market is regulated must give us some optimism that it's not as bad here as it would be elsewhere, surely.
Yeah, well, we don't get the money through us that on these fixed events, but we're privy to information of what's going on overseas. I go to conferences and hear about how things are done overseas, and it's mind-boggling.
But if there is the chance of things being fixed in games that you guys as the TRB have an interest in, it is real harmful to your business, isn't it? Because all of a sudden you're plugging in all these things to get a result that you think is befitting, and so you set odds on that, but then you've got this other force that is going against all the rationale that you've plugged into the computer and into the system. Yeah,
and that's the tricky thing. That's why we're working so hard on the integrity and working with the likes of New Zealand Football and the Rugby Union and all other league, and we're talking to them all, cricket as well, especially we've been talking to cricket and running workshops with cricketers and that sort of thing for quite some time. So yeah, the integrity is so important to us, so we'll do whatever we can to help.
And just one final one for you, Staffy. Is it possible to come on, let's say I got a job setting odds with the TOV. I mean, how far would I get before they gave me the arse for trying to bring them down? How wrong can you get it before they just give you the flick?
I'd imagine you'd start on Monday and be gone by Wednesday. That'd be my guess.
Bringing the tab into disrepute. And I think New Zealand football would benefit too from the World Cup.
Yeah, they do. They get a percentage of turnover and profit. The last Football World Cup, they got a cheque for $500,000. So that's quite cool. They'll get decent old check again, and that's going to help for the All Whites to get to the next World Cup. Let's hope.
Hey, thanks, Mark. Appreciate you stopping by.
Cheers.